So check this out. House lawmakers introduced a bill banning facial recognition tech in public housing. We should ban facial recognition tech completely, but, a start's a start. A group of House lawmakers this week introduced a bill banning facial recognition technology from public housing, the first federal proposal of its kind. Representatives Yvette Clarke, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib are planning to introduce the bill by the end of the week, a source familiar with the legislation told The Hill. The No Biometric Barriers to Housing Act would prevent facial recognition technology from being installed in housing units that receive funding from the Urban of Housing and Urban Development. It would also require HUD to submit a report to Congress about how facial recognition technology is impacting tenants, how it's impacting vulnerable communities, what it means, why housing units are using it, so they can then determine the best course of action. And this legislation was first reported by CNET. The bill emerges as the House ramps up its security of the sensitive technology, which scans people's faces for the purpose of identifying them over the past month. And this technology, by the way, is a huge overreach for law enforcement. And by the way, it's faulty 98% of the time. Who does it affect in particular? Minorities and people of color. It's faulty 98% of the time. We are already such an over-policed society, and it just amplifies that by a bunch. And there's already been plenty of reports of law enforcement officials using this technology without a warrant, using it without any basis whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, they're going to make this technology available. Silicon Valley is going to make this technology available to private companies too. So they can just kind of have all this facial recognition software, do whatever the hell they want with it. So there's a bill out there to at least outlaw this in housing, and it does have some support from Fight for the Future. Here's what Fight for the Future has to say about it. Full disclaimer, an organization that I have collaborated with and continue to collaborate with. We did a net neutrality campaign together. But here's what they have to say about it. Fight for the Future welcomes legislation to ban facial recognition surveillance in public housing. CNET is reporting that Reps Yvette Clarke, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib are planning to introduce a bill this week that would ban the use of facial recognition. Fight for the Future, a leading digital rights group that has called for a complete federal ban on government use of facial recognition surveillance, welcomes this legislation, reportedly titled the No Biometric Barriers for Housing Act. Here's what Evan Greer, Deputy Director of Fight for the Future, says. She says, facial recognition surveillance should be banned everywhere, but keeping it out of public housing is an excellent start. This type of invasive surveillance technology is often tested on and disproportionately used to target poor people and people of color. If public housing units become a panopticon of automated face scanning and monitoring, it will mean more people in prison, more police abuse, and more families torn apart. Surveillance of poor communities isn't about safety, it's about social control. Everyone deserves liberty and privacy in their own homes. No one should have to choose between homelessness and losing their basic rights. Well said, Evan, and we'll try to have her on soon to discuss this further. But right now, there's some good legislation out there to ban facial recognition in public housing. Should be banned completely, but start's a start. This is good news.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting